We have introduced you to researchers who approach Bigfoot from a very scientific angle. And we have introduced you to researchers who approach Bigfoot from a very supernatural angle. Now we're going to introduce you to researchers who approach Bigfoot as if they're going into combat. The commandos of the Bigfoot world, Coshocton County Bigfoot.
The time is now.
Our adventure continues.
Our quest reaches deeper into the darkest forests, higher up the mountain, further up the stream, just around the next bend. Onward, upward, deeper.
Garnering the facts, wrangling the data, following the leads, building on the foundations of the knowledge of experiences had, using all tools available.
Whether generations or days old, chasing the slippery tails, seeking out the legends. The quest for the elusive evidence never rests. The quest is eternal.
Come join our journey.
Become a fellow seeker.
Sample the strange knowledge. This is Cryptovania.
Jay, I know you're just like us guys. You're a regular guy. What was it that happened that got you into this crazy world of Bigfoot? How did you come to this?
Mostly ginseng hunting. I was a ginseng hunter, and my brother always was a big believer in Bigfoot. And I never believed in him. And I had several strange things happen to me in the woods. Tree breaks while you're, out and over. You don't talk when you're ginseng hunting anyway.
Right.
Mostly quiet. And we'd have thumps on the ground. We'd have all kind of weird stuff. And I mostly got into it that way. It took me a long time to wrap my head around it until I had a sighting.
And so I know I had the honor of going out in the woods with you, and you were naming every root, every plant, all the cohosh and all that. I know that you're super good at that. Was it a stunning, startling kind of thing? Like, did you have a visual? Did you have an audio encounter, or can you describe that first encounter?
Well, the first encounter, I just had the tree breaks, the occasional wood knock, and just people with me, that's Bigfoot. I said, there ain't such thing as Bigfoot. There's no Bigfoots around here. And finally, I had a sighting, and it was maybe a year after that. It was just daylight, just getting daylight. I was sitting in my car, getting ready to fish, and I had one come down off of a dam and crossed. He was going across. He was heading right toward me, and I was in a little Cobalt car, and I'm thinking he's going to flip his car. It was so big. I've never seen nothing that big on two legs walking, and I was scared. I was like, and I finally snapped out of it. I rolled the passenger window down. I'm going to shoot this thing. And all I have is a compact 9. So I'm fumbling for the other magazine. I get the magazine on my lap, rack the gun. I'm thinking, I'm going to shoot. Calm down, muscle memory, everything. And it turned and it walked toward the wood line. And there was 3 sets of eyes down there looking at me when it finally got down there. And they went on down the wood line. And after that, how can something that big be there and hide from me all these years?
Yeah.
I'm 53 years old. I'm constantly in the woods.
Yeah.
All year round. I've never seen, how could it? I was just amazing.
Well, I know back home in Coshocton County, there's a culture of people that are mushroomers and ginseng hunters and all this. Do any of those folks ever confide in you that they've had similar experiences to yours?
Yeah, you get your ridicule people. There'll be 4 or 5 people joking around ridiculing you. And if you want to hunt a cryptid, you better have tough skin.
Right.
It doesn't bother me.
True.
But it always seems like after the ridicule, one guy will stick around and say, hey, I had this happen to me. I was out mushroom hunting.
Yeah.
And, and he'll describe rock throwing or wood knocks or tree. Yeah, that's what they do, And it kind of makes them feel better. But it's always that one guy who wants to stick around and tell a story. But it seems like when you run into one of these, you want to tell your story. You want to tell somebody.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be ridiculed.
Right.
After that. You want somebody to believe you because you had an encounter that you can't believe. And it's the ridicule, it kills it,
Right.
I want to tell my story. When I see one, I told my wife, and I didn't tell nobody else. And I didn't go in the woods for 3 months after that. And I'm always in the woods. And I thought, I'm done, And Bill, our research partner, he got me back in the woods, you know.
That's cool. I'm glad he did. We're all glad he did.
I was done. And just to see one of those is, they've told you your whole life they don't exist.
Right.
And they're not real. And when you actually see one, you question everything.
Yeah.
Your existence, everything.
Maybe that's why they don't want us to know they're out there, because it does make you question everything.
Possibly.
What else is not true?
Yeah, what else are they like to us about? They, it's always they. Who's they?
Yeah.
You know?
Do you believe that the Sasquatch is eating the plants, the mushrooms, the herbs, the whatever that you're out there hunting?
Yeah.
Have you had proof of it? Like, have you found a place where they've been digging or?
Yes, actually, Bob Gross, pretty much our founding father there, he was watching one the other day, and there's we think it's a mustard in the mustard family, a plant. He actually watched him snap them off and eat them, like it was, like he was snacking. And he's seen it 3 times now, and we actually brought some of it with us, some of the plant. Yeah, they eat whatever they want.
Of all the goodies that are growing in the woods around here in Appalachia and stuff, do you have an idea of what might be their favorite wild edible food?
I was thinking May apples. There's several woods.
Isn't that hard to believe?
Thousands of May apples in these woods, and you look at certain woods, and they're still there. They're still there in August. They grow the fruit on them, and plants. Everything's going. Thousands of them.
Could you imagine a belly full of May apples? They must have a tough digestive system.
Yeah, and where you're at and where we're at, we're in a agriculture county, and we have thousands of acres of corn.
Right.
Soybean. For them to eat the corn of a cornfield, that was nothing. And it stays sweet till probably mid-August, and they can feed on that. The soybean, if they're eating soybean, that's just pure protein. They have that. I know they eat the mussel shells. We've found proof of that. Big on mussels.
When you start talking about an agricultural area with all this abundant food growing, what's every farm have on it? A pond, an apple tree orchard, blueberry bushes, all that sort of thing. Chickens, absolutely.
Their food source is unlimited. And wintertime it might get a little sketchy, or they're taking down deer. And I do believe they eat more meat in the wintertime.
The mussels, the shells, I've found those before too. That's really, I never really came onto that until recently, and I wonder, because a lot of those mussels are endangered or protected or whatever.
Yeah, in our area, yes, we have they were extinct. They found a blue mussel shell. And so they pretty much just said in Ohio, you just can't possess a mussel shell. You can't possess any part of it. Right. Or you'll be fine. So for me to find 100 mussel shells in a pile with an 18-inch footprint beside it, I was fishing one morning, and we happened to, I was watching Einstein. It's about 4 foot off the ground. It stands up to about maybe 7 or 8 feet and walks in the woods. I couldn't wait to get down there to see what was going on. Why was he down on his knees? Yeah. So a guy come up, and he wanted to know what I was catching fish on the day. I was like, here, just take all these lures, you'll get something. I want to get down there. And there was a rock, good flat rock. And there was a sharp stone. He had it all laid out like a little workbench. And there was a live mussel shell still in still in the shell.
You must have been hot on his heels.
I couldn't figure out why he's down. Water, drinking water. No, they're eating. They're getting the mussels. It was probably, I don't know, February, cold out, Spillway don't freeze. It's constantly moving. Yeah. We fish there all winter. And they're eating the mussels. And which, if you think about it, that's a major protein source.
Makes perfect sense. Perfect sense.
And you can't open them with your hands. I can't. Right. So one of my fishing buddies is a retired sheriff's deputy. I said, open that up. He couldn't do it. I took him back. I was like, what opened all those? Yeah. And then they showed me the footprint. He said, I never believed in these things. I said, well, there's enough evidence right there. Something's going on. Yeah. And it was amazing.
And when you get into that time of year, with the exception of you and a very few other people, how many people are going to be down in that area in the wintertime too?
Yeah. Maybe, serious saltwater fishing, you might see 30, 40 of the same guys out there all winter long. Yeah. There's not a whole lot of people out there.
Yeah, and who's there for more than half hour or an hour when it's cold like that too?
Yeah. And it's just amazing to put the puzzle together. Yeah, it's just a big puzzle. You don't see them, so you gotta it's just a Rubik's cube. You gotta figure out every part of it, and then more you figure out, the easier it is to find them. I think that's what we do, pretty much.
And I know you and I have talked before, and you feel that the population is expanding or doing very well right now.
Yeah. Population is exploding. If people knew how many were out there, it blew me away. I thought I found a pocket of them when I first encountered these things. I got a pocket of Bigfoot,
Yeah.
I found a little pocket of them. And everywhere I get the same thing 22 miles away. They couldn't have followed me. Oh, I found another pocket. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
And they go anywhere they want. And for them to hide from us, which goes back to Jonathan Mackey, our friend, his theories are just dead on. How they hide.
And that's something that I really love about being buddies with you guys down there. You guys are 4 hours away from us, and the same theories and the same mannerisms are the same there as they are here.
Oh, yeah. I didn't change nothing, my style, nothing coming up here.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you have more force, and it's just amazing up here. Amazing. But it's the same thing. Same thing I got at home. So I was in Missouri. Same thing, Missouri.
Yeah.
Same thing. Different terrain, different plant life. Same thing there. I'm finding the same thing down there.
Last night, when we were out in the woods last night, how'd you feel about the first place we went into there, where you were running the FLIR and I had the night vision, and Bill had the thermal, and Jason had the other night vision going? What was your feelings on that? What do you think of that spot?
Oh, that was amazing. We had, right off the bat, we had activity. We had, the tree knock. I know we had some really loud tree knocks. It sounded like Tannerite at first. It did. I mean, but they were loud. The video you got, FLIR hits we got, it was just amazing. And at the hotel, I don't want to mention that, but we had activity on the other side of that ridge Saturday morning, and it all tied in together.
When you drive a car that goes over 300 miles an hour, you have to be able to trust your equipment. Whether I'm on the racetrack or back on my farm, I need gear that is designed to perform. Rocky Footwear and Apparel is built for people who love the great outdoors and who know what it's like to put in a hard day's work. I'm two-time funny car champion Matt Hagan, and I wear Rocky boots because I know no matter what I'm doing, there's a boot for that.
So when we walked in there, it was so cool. Our squad's going in there and stuff, and then all of a sudden we hear something walking. Then we hear something break, and we hear this, we hear that, and then it was like mayhem. Everybody's looking in every direction, and there's action going on in every direction. We got that FLIR video, and you were getting stuff or we got the night vision video, and you were getting FLIR stuff, and that was just awesome, man. I was like glad that we had a good night like that last night.
Yeah, they kept saying, go to the left, Jay, go to the left for FLIR. And I'm already turned left, and I'm getting hits. I'm getting hits in front of me of two bipedal creatures. And, no, go to the left, Jay, go to the left. I don't realize that you're on something behind me more to the left. And by the time I got on it, I was just like, oh, wow, And we had our diehard Bills with us. Yep. Bill Welsh, man, I can't say enough about him.
That's a good guy to have with you.
If you want to run into some sketchy stuff, that's the guy you want beside you. Right?
I couldn't agree with you more.
He's amazing. And usually with him there, I don't worry. I have no worries.
I have to say, walk in the woods at night with you guys last night, that was about the most safe and secure I think I ever felt doing what we were doing when we were surrounded by very probably creatures.
Yeah, safety is our utmost concern. You walk around at night in the woods, you can run into several problems.
Well, I felt pretty safe. There's an understatement. I felt pretty safe.
Yeah, we're not out to hurt nothing or nothing.
Right.
We're big boys. We want to go and eat.
Right.
We want to go and eat.
Right. When you're out doing your Bigfoot stuff, do you ever have people come up and ask you, what are you doing? Really what I'm getting at is, I heard a story that you and George Workman had done some work together one time, and things were kind of interesting. Can you tell us about that, Jay?
Yeah. I invited George out for an outing in our county, and he comes out, and we've never met each other. We talked to each other online. And we went to an area that I've been watching. It was a hillside where we set a couple tripods up, put some cameras up. And we're trying to get a photograph. What we're trying to do, And George had actually seen movement up there, seen some activity, and here comes of the law enforcement arm, we believe, of the Army Corps Engineers, and he comes down and he just stands there looking at us. I'm like, oh great, what are you guys doing? And he's facing me, and George is behind me, and I'm like, we're bird watching.
Yeah. Every time I hear the word bird watching, this is exactly what I think of.
Yeah.
I think of Jay Fouch. You're the atypical bird watcher.
I'm being dead serious. We're bird watching. What are you watching for? And I'm like, eagles. And George is behind me. And I mean, any minute, man, George is doing everything he can just to keep him busting up laughing. I'm thinking, he's going to blow it for us. He's going to blow it for us. He had to be there. And the guy goes, bird watching? Really? And he's I do bird watching. And he gets us he goes up, he goes, I'll be back in a minute. Brings us down dry bags with towel, coffee cup. And we bird watched there, talked bird watching for an hour with this guy. And, which was a really good job. It was a nice show for
yes.
the bird. But,
yes.
We're like, there's Bigfoot's moving up there. We want to get something, just get him out of here. But George the whole time. I was like, don't laugh, George. I knew once he laughed, I was done. I would have lost it.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to be dead serious. Oh, serious bird watching.
Oh, to be a mouse in the corner for that talk, that would have been great.
Oh, it was good. George is, I can't say nothing about him. He's awesome.
He's been into Cryptovania, great guy. Getting back to the swamp, we went into a swamp here on 8,000 acres that we have locally here, and what did you think of that place? How do you think water plays into the research? How important is water, or what's it has obvious reasons, but how do you try to play the water? How do you try to play the terrain when you're doing
I
this?
use the water probably more than any other researcher I know. You hear a lot of theories on, a lot of ways people go after these things. I always use water because water is key to everything on Earth. Everything has water in it. But water, I'll put myself between the water and maybe the bedding area and for where they have to go by to get the water. Eventually they're going to go for the water. Because anybody that hasn't had food for 3 weeks or water, they're going to get the water first.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about it. Water is everything to me. It's in all my key areas, I gravitate toward the water. And I have really good success rate. The swamp we was at, that was an awesome place. The broken stuff and everywhere you went, something was broken. It didn't matter where you was at in that woods, something was broken. Me and Trost was walking through there and everything was broken. I said, look at everything's broken here.
Yep.
And you just, when you're in a situation like that where you go in the woods and everything's broken, you know they're there.
Yeah.
And it's just an amazing area.
That was really a nice setup too, because we had Bob and myself over on the one side of the pond, and then you guys went in, and sometimes the best laid plans don't always work out. We didn't really get a lot of activity there, but we had the night before. But that was still cool though. It was really nice to lay a plan down like that and then execute it, and that was some Bigfoot textbook 101 and stuff right there.
Yeah, I think we had one call that I know wasn't coming from you guys, but it would have been on the other side of the ridge, and it wasn't real loud. And we all stopped up there I know we stopped for about 15 minutes and just sit still. And but there's enough evidence there. What's doing that? There's enough evidence there.
And then when we had our powwow before we went out of there, we did get that vocalization. Yes. That was actually the best one of the night. It
was.
After we'd done everything we knew how to do, then when we're sitting there talking, then we get that one vocal.
2 a.m., 3 a.m.
Yeah, I think it was about 2:30.
The night before, what you captured the night before was
amazing.
Yep. It was amazing.
Yep. Yeah. Back home in Coshocton, do you guys, is access to land readily available? Is it tricky to get in places? Do you guys have, I know what I'm getting at is you're right near Salt Fork. And are there other places that are half as awesome as Salt Fork?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's, Salt Fork's in itself is 47,000 acres. Water sources there. Everything's there for them. Hotspot. Everybody knows it's Salt Fork. North of there is where I live. I live about 30 minutes north of there. And it's pretty popular in the Bigfoot community. Coshocton County is heard of, But I really don't want to tell too many people about where we're at because it's.
Well, it's just me and you talking.
But it's amazing. Coshocton County it has everything. It has 5 rivers. It has all the agriculture. It has the deer population is insane. We have some of the biggest deer in the world. People come from England to hunt there, all over the world. It's got everything there that an apex predator would need to survive. And the activities, we have a high house to us is everybody hears them, and like you said, we come out here that you don't have them.
What like when you were saying, you're like, well, you get that occasional Ohio howl like you get.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I don't, man. No, I don't not hear it. So it is different in that regard there.
When you hear one, it's a 15-minute howl. It's louder than anything you've ever heard in the woods. It's freight train loud.
Yeah.
And what does that?
Exactly.
Other people, I've heard other people say, I'm not ever coming here again. They don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But the volume, to have that volume,
that lung capacity,
come out of something.
Yeah.
Freight train whistles are that loud.
Yeah.
The volume, and it's amazing to hear that. And usually they'll set coyotes off. You'll hear 50 coyotes go off after they do this. And it's just, we hear it a lot up home. Like you say, you don't have them here.
Well, occasionally I'll get reports of them, but I haven't heard one here.
We're going to have to get you up home.
Yeah, man, absolutely. We're going to do that soon.
It's amazing. Like TP structures, we don't have those there. I found two in my life, and I've been to others. Oh, we have TP structures everywhere. I don't know why. It's part of the puzzle.
That's like when we were over there and hiked with you guys. That Scanicum star that we found that day. Oh man, that was almost Ginger Lockwood level right there. That was a beauty.
I actually posted that, and she commented on it.
Yeah.
To me, that was you and Nick was ahead of me and found that. And you were talking about a star. I'm like, what are they talking about?
Yeah.
The star. I didn't know what you was talking. We called it asterisk back then.
Mm-hmm.
And we found them actually in person, and like you'll see the V of a tree with a huge asterisk in it, and but that was just balanced perfect. If you'd have bumped it, I think it would have fell over.
Yeah.
But it was just amazing to see. And when you're going through the woods and you see something like that, it's like it's art. It's kind of like art. You're seeing art like art. It's just like art form. And some people walk by that their whole life and never realize all them trees just fell over.
And to have her commenting on it, that's about like having Earnhardt tell you you're a pretty decent driver.
Yeah, exactly. It's. And when you have something amazing like that, and some of the big name people that's knows what they're doing, says something about wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And I had you with me, Nick. You guys found it. You was ahead of me walking that day. So I said, check that out.
Oh,
and it was just amazing. The tree stand we found. We found a tree stand in that woods.
Yeah,
it wasn't attached to a tree. It was destroyed.
It absolutely was, and that was a heavy tree stand. That wasn't.
Tried to straighten it down. It's like it wasn't moving.
I forgot about that.
That, and it wasn't like it hadn't been attached to that. Something ripped it down and just destroyed it.
Yeah, and that thing was.
It was old school,
twisted like a rag doll.
Heavy duty, and it was like just that area was amazing in itself.
Yeah, we had a great day. That was a great hike.
Yeah, it was. I loved it. That's
the part that I always remember is like as we're walking through, you're like, oh, blue cohosh. Oh, black cohosh. Oh, bro. I mean,
nailing the mushrooms.
You know your plants, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
You know your plants.
Yeah, I raising 4 children. You supplement your income.
Yeah, man.
The best you can. That was a good way for me to supplement my income and got me in the woods. I love being outdoors. I love it.
Yeah. And it really shows, man. When you walk in the woods with you can tell you're a cat that loves the outdoors, and that's awesome.
I'm constantly in the woods. We have a person that funds us. I mean, without him, he's Bob Gross.
Yep.
He funds Coshocton. He is Coshocton County.
That's cool, man.
I'm in the woods after work. I'll be in the woods. Before work, I'm in the woods. But he gets us everything we need to operate and function as a group.
Well, you guys got a nice thing going, and I'll tell you right now, it definitely works, and you guys got the results to prove it.
This isn't just a beer. It's a lager. A medium-bodied, amber-colored, one-of-a-kind beer. Made from those bold enough to brew it, for those bold enough to drink it. Tap into your inner eagle. Yingling Traditional Lager. Spread your wings.
Back in the day, a fellow would hold the door for a lady and find ways to leave the land better than he found it. If we killed a deer, we didn't hoot and holler like rock stars. We honored that animal. I grew up with a bow in my hand, Fletch my own arrows, learned to mend a fence, track a deer, play the wind, work calves, build a blind, and break horses by the time I was 10. Have you been listening to me?
Yes, sir.
The greatest of inheritances aren't written in a will. That's country.
I'm with Bob Gross, one of the major members of the Coshocton crew. How long have you been part of this and this Bigfoot world, and in particular, Jay and the Coshocton crew?
About a year and a half.
About a year and a half?
Yes.
What got you started in it?
Went out with Jay a time or two. He took me out to a couple places, and about the second time we got a lot of action. I actually got to see some. We didn't have much equipment then. We just had them night vision binoculars. That was enough. I could see what was going on. So that's kind of what led to where we're at today.
And that, before you went out there, were you a believer, or were you kind of just going out, hanging out with your friend? Because
a little of both. I was going out there to see things that Jay has told me and stuff. And I ran into a few things that just didn't seem right, beforehand. So I just kind of wanted to see what was going on,
And after a couple trips out in the woods, you were hooked, huh?
It only took about 2.
Yeah. What would you like to see happen with the whole Coshocton crew as you go forward, and say next year and such?
I'll maybe get just a pinch more equipment. We're set up pretty good right now.
You guys are set up pretty fantastically.
And, I like pictures. Lots of pictures. And for the non-believers that like to give you grief, really? Oh, here, look.
Yeah. So there's a little bit of a challenge there too, right?
Basically, yes.
Yeah. What's your favorite piece of equipment that you guys have?
I'm not real sure. A couple of them I like that 10-mile scoop I got, and especially in the daytime, and you can see a long ways with that stuff. They're really plain. And then that kind of, with that, it changes the contrast, doesn't it? So it kind of is a lot different than looking through like a... You can also hook your phone up, to it to take pictures from a long distance and stuff. That's pretty sweet. Kind of a handy little tool. Yeah. That's one that you've had for a bit? Most of the stuff I've been buying for about a year. Some here, some there, depending on the price of it. The Fleur was one of the last ones we got there. And just, I kind of think like an investigator. If I was going to hunt you down, if you was a criminal, what kind of tools would I use to do this with? And that's kind of, unless it's a big purchase, and I'll ask Jay, you think we ought to buy this or not? Yeah. It's kind of how we go about it. That's pretty awesome, actually, and it's pretty fun to, Yeah. It's kind of like it's kind of like Squatchins kind of replaced big game hunting, and it's got a lot of the same principles, even with the equipment. I remember, I'd really like to get a Weatherby rifle, and but it's off the. I buy this stuff, and they kind of learn to use it. I just purchase it, And the only one we ain't used much of right now is my drone. I got a drone with camera and everything. Oh yeah, but we haven't used it much yet. What kind of drone you got? It's just a regular 4-motor wireless. Yeah, brush. Nice. Have you messed around with that yet? No, I let Jay do all that stuff. I understand. And here you go, Jay. I have one that I picked up, and I spent a bit of money on it, and it's been an adventure, and you make a lot of mistakes with it. And most of the equipment I buy is outdated military equipment. Okay. And if it was good enough for them, then definitely do what we're using it for. Yeah. And it seems to work out pretty good that way. Yeah, and there's a little bit of a military feel to what you guys do too, and how you set about your business, and that fits right in there. The other night when we were out at the wildlife refuge, you stayed behind with Tommy Cooper on that deck. And then what piece of equipment were you using while we were off going up there? Did you have a piece of equipment you were shooting with? Oh, it was he was using that Bushnell, wasn't he? They had the other guy was out there with me and Tommy. Nick was out there. Nick was using it. Yeah. Okay, excellent. I was just using my eyes and watching around. Excellent. And how have you enjoyed this stay here in Cryptovania? The guys have done us great.
kind of feel like home here, you know. It's
awesome.
It's been, you know, a nice experience.
That's what we're shooting for. That it's been a very cool brotherhood from very early days of both Coshocton and Cryptovania. Yeah. We've had a lot of interaction back and forth, and it's been a good time as both of our groups kind of expand and get busy and get some results.
I really appreciate the hospitality, you know, and put us up in a decent place and everything. It's pretty nice.
Awesome. And you even you guys even seen some activity from the hotel, didn't you?
We have.
Yeah. That's kind of been a common thread with a couple of our guests. It seems like maybe Squatch likes to welcome people to Cryptovania.
It's a possibility.
Excellent. And if you find that definitive proof, it really doesn't end the game, does it?
Not really, no. You want to. It's kind of like a sickness. You want to see more. You want to do more. So
excellent. Well, thank you very much, Bob, and thanks for coming out, and thanks for all the work you do out in Coshocton. And it does feel like a brotherhood, and that's really cool. All right, thanks, man.
Yep, no problem.
In the Bigfoot world, one of the things that's kind of been a surprise to me is how much online networking, particularly through like Facebook, it happens in the Bigfoot world. You don't normally think of that as your Facebook dependent kind of crowd, but in all reality, that's how you and I met. Yes. With our Cryptovania group, it's been amazing how much interaction we've had, and then you have the interaction back and forth with the groups. How did you get started online with the Bigfoot world?
I got started online. I had the encounters that I had in the beginning. Once I kind of realized maybe it could be a Bigfoot out there. And where do you go? Where do you go with that? Mm-hmm. You know, everybody, you say something, somebody, they're going to dog you, make fun of you, you know. And I got online, and I found a few groups, and Pennsylvania Bigfoot Project was probably the first group I ever went to.
Fantastic group.
Yeah, she's willing to step out and help people. It's going through something, you know, she knows what it's like. And then I met Cryptovania, you know, it's like, wow, you know, what's a Cryptovania, you know? And it was the informative information on there. It was crazy, insane. Everything, you know. And, I have groups that I go to. There are certain groups that you can gravitate towards. It's in your niche, you know, what you do. And there's some geniuses out there.
Yeah.
Literally geniuses. It's amazing, and that's how we function.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
I met you through there. Tommy, I think, you know, and you meet some great people through there.
Yeah, and everything on there's convenient for doing what we do with sharing knowledge and all that. Like you sent me that one, a fantastic pic, probably a little over a year and a half ago. A few years ago, you'd have had to send something in the mail, you know, or something like that, or we never would have interacted unless we ran into each other at a Bigfoot function. But how do the Bigfoot functions network without the Facebook stuff and social media and great stuff? That picture, what was the story behind that picture? Because it's got a odd looking face and
the story behind that was I've got a couple of fishing buddies of mine. We fish all nuts about it, and I was teased a lot by one of them in particular. And it wasn't nothing. He was always teasing me. You know, he's a little older than I am, and he was ex-law enforcement, and he was don't be looking at the bangs right now, Bigfoot. Get to fishing, you know. He was having some trouble on his property. He was running several game cams. He's a big time hunter, and I said, you know, put a few more cameras up in there. We move one every day. Just pick one out and move it every day. You know, he goes up and down the floor daily. Grab it and move it somewhere. Move it all the time. And he done that, and that's what he captured. And he calls me up and he says, you need to get down there right now. And it's probably 80 miles from me. You know, I was like, what's wrong? You need to get down here now. He said, I got a Bigfoot on the camera. You told me. Bigfoots aren't real. He's like, get down there now. You know? And I was teasing him, and it's amazing. It's an amazing picture. I actually talked to Melba Ketchum on it. And whether you like her, hate her, believe her, or whatever, she said that she thought it had dwarfism. It's an odd looking creature.
Yeah.
But it has arms. It is. I did a comparison photo. I'm actually bigger than it. I'm not, the muscles on that thing's insane. I mean, muscular wise, it is insane how big it is.
Yeah.
And she thought that it showed signs of dwarfism, which, you know, if it has human genes, it could carry the bad human traits we have. You know.
I had wondered if maybe it was just a refraction of that hairy face, or maybe if it had a hairier face with those hollow guard hairs, maybe. But it's kind of puffs out.
A lot of it was, I think, a lot of the facial part. We was coming out of a real hard winter. It's been very cold, and it was taken on March 6th, and we think that some of the hair could have been. You know, we had a really brutal winter. A couple of nights where we got that 25 below zero. You know, it might have something to do with that. We do believe it's on a turkey. It captured a turkey there. The camera had no infrared on it. It was disabled. And, we think it can see infrared. We have evidence of that. We've used infrared before, and they've shied away from us.
So you disabled the infrared on that?
There was no infrared in that camera. And we ran real-time camera, trail cameras, infrared cameras, non-infrared cameras. I think there was 25 cameras on the property at the time.
Wow.
That was amazing, yeah.
That's a well canvassed.
Yeah, he usually runs 20 just for hunting anyway. So he loves his hunting, and it worked out real well.
When that was just a game cam that took that picture then with the disabled infrared. Yeah, excellent. You've also been messing around with that one Canon camera of yours, and you've developed a technique where you're using a contrast or a lack of contrast to grab eye shine. That's awful startling.
Yeah, I noticed when I first got into this, one of our investigators, Larry Fouch, we could spot the eye shine at night, and it kind of glowed. You know, it's like, oh, you know, that's a demon. You know, people say it's a demon. If the eyes are glowing, no, it's a night vision process where their vision is better at night, and it's designed to work at night. Our vision isn't, and it's a lot of cones collecting light, basically. You know, and we could see it great at nighttime, but at daytime, I was like, there's got to be a way. If the eyes are that big, there's got to be a way to see those eyes in the daytime if it's that big.
Yeah.
If they're capturing light, they're going to reflect. And I worked with I was actually kind of like by accident. We was working there. Bob buys me a camera. My camera guy's Larry Fouch. He's a research builder, and he does all my camera work. I don't do camera work. I'm not a cameraman, you know. And I was messing with the contrast because it was too dark, you know. And as I was messing with the contrast, I started seeing the eye shine in certain woods. I was having activity anyway. Wow, you know, I could see it was daytime.
Yeah.
So I just left it there. And this camera, you can actually hold it up and do a visual sweep. And me and Bill Welsh was in the woods here recently, and I captured an eye on there. I was like, Bill, come here and check his eye out. And he sees it, and it blinks, and then there's two eyes, and he takes off running. He's going to go get it. And that's how Bill is. I mean, Bill is he's the guy to have with you. You know, when you're and it was amazing. It's amazing how it works. And I try to share it with people, but it's hard to explain what, you know.
Yeah.
These are 50-cent pieces you're seeing in the middle of the daytime, and they're reflective. But you have to pay attention.
And they're side by side.
Yeah, it's always two. You know, you can. I showed Tommy yesterday with it. Are they Bigfoot? No, but they're where we're having activity. They're with Bigfoot. If they're not Bigfoot, they're with them. There's something to it. I don't know. You know, you're telling me there's 4 Bigfoots up there right now. I got 4 sets of eyes up there. I don't know. You tell me what else has an eye that big? What else collects light like that? I don't know. I have so many questions that I have more questions than I have answers.
Yeah, and it seems like you keep getting more and more.
And then I put that I work with Jonathan Lackey's work on his hair is just, he's a genius. You know, it's amazing. You know, you put all that together, a little puzzle, and
that highlight and shine.
They can hide.
Yeah.
That's how they do it.
And I experienced Bill charging forward very early when we went out around the one side of the pond, and I was kind of nervous, and I was like, well, what's going on? And then all of a sudden he's like, you guys wait here, and straight forward he goes. That's and you know, and I was like, these guys are intense. And
we're going home. I mean, it doesn't matter what happens. We're not out there to hurt nobody. We're not out there to hurt them. We're going home. And anybody's with us, is going to hurt us. That's just how
Yeah.
You don't know what you're going to run into.
Yes.
Today, in today's age, you do not have no idea what's out there. People, animal, you don't know.
We don't know.
And he takes care of us out there. He does a good job.
I felt like I was in safe hands.
Oh, yes. He's good man.
After the break, meet Coshocton County Bigfoot Security Detail, Bill Welsh, the most armed man to ever grace Cryptovania studios.
Hi. I don't do a lot of public appearances, or any, actually, but this has been bothering me. These are two 65-quart coolers. Oddly, this cooler only holds 52 quarts. And what is this, a toggle? What's a toggle? Is that a word? Is that a board game? Now this is a latch. A serious bolted-on latch. Handle? No, this is a rope on a stick. This is something you give a puppy. These are handles. 1 of 2 sets, actually. Stainless steel hardware, 2-inch insulation. Man, it's quiet in here. This thing is built like a tank. Ice up to 10 days. Guaranteed for life. That's a really long time. So, what's it to me? Well, somebody put my name on one of these, and, I'm no pelican. They didn't ask. They didn't come to me. This is an insult. Very insulted. Very insulted. Yeah. More at pelicanprogear.com. Bring it. You can get a cushion for this.
Bill, I got to tell you, I've had the good fortune to walk in the woods with so many people, and some people don't want a phone or a camera to be there. Some people don't want any guns to be there. We ourselves, we usually go in. We're usually always armed. We carry some pistols and whatnot. But I got to tell you, your game is lit. I have never felt safer walking in the woods at night than I did last night with you guys. This little beauty that you got here, can you tell us exactly what this is and how it operates? It looks like it can do about anything there is.
It's just a AR pistol I put together pretty much just for this. Wanted something with a little more firepower, so it's a 300 blackout, a little larger caliber.
Could you hold that up so the camera could see that? That is a slick machine right there.
It's handy.
Yeah. Now,
it's a working tool.
You've got this chicken McNugget cooker here on the end of it, that light there that I've never seen a light that small that was that bright before.
It's 2100 lumens, so you can't shoot it if you can't see it. So that's what it's there for.
That's a good philosophy to have. Some of the other stuff on here, we've got the scope, what could you say about any of that stuff there?
It's a simple red dot optic.
Mm-hmm.
When you're out in the dark, you can't see fixed sights, so it has an illuminated red dot inside, so you can always see it.
She's nice and short, telescopic stock on it.
Actually, no, it's fixed.
It's fixed, okay.
With a pistol, you can't actually have a telescoping.
Good point.
Stabilizer. It's not even a stock, but anyway.
And the caliber on this?
300 blackout. It's 30 cal.
Oh, man.
I've been kind of put in the position that I provide security, so I needed something to provide security with.
Oh, that was really a reassuring feeling last night when we had stuff happening all around us. I was like, yeah, we're good, man. We're going to be all right. This is all right. Everybody's armed, and we got our head security man over there, and I think he's got us pretty well covered. I know I experienced when we're in the woods together, it's very much has the vibe of what I would imagine a small army platoon or a military unit is. It seems like everybody has a job to do and everybody knows where to go. And that's a nice way to walk through the woods. It was when you're in, especially for you guys, you're in woods you've never even seen before. And we could walk in there and feel pretty confident, I felt.
Right.
I have a feeling you guys are well versed in how all that works.
We do spend some time in the field, so.
Yeah. Have you ever had anything that you would call like a close call with that where you're just about ready to start blasting you ever get rushed or anything like that?
To be perfectly honest with you, since I've been out here doing this, and I've only had this now for about a month, but even prior to that, I always have a handgun on me all the time. I've never even drawn my handgun yet. Some of the guys I've been with, they're kind of getting into freak out mode and have been.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think I'm a little bit more calm than most, and I haven't had that. I haven't been that scared, even in situations where I'm being pushed out and screamed at and crap thrown at me.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, I have to really give it to you. This has really changed my opinion on things. Yes, that machine there has, but with that in that thermal imaging, holy cow!
The thermal game changer. I call it the D-liar.
Yes,
because you can. I got the night vision first, and one of the first problems I had with night vision, of course, I was just learning it, but I thought I had captured something very early with night vision, and thankfully I did my due diligence. I came back the next day and realized that I was just getting reflections off of all things. A couple of those box bird feeders that were placed out in a this was in Ohio in a state game area, and they were them box bird feeders, but they had picked up reflections from the night feeders, and it was just a matter of perspective because there was a small island, and when I first scanned this area, the island had blocked the bird feeders. Well, literally just a few steps to one direction exposed those, and it looked like two figures coming through the edge of the swamp, and it kind of freaked us out. We packed up and left that area, came back the next morning and realized our mistake. So I started looking for something beyond just the night vision.
Yeah. Well, and there's no shame that you guys packed up and left for the wrong reasons. At least you came back and found out what was going on. Well, I know last night when we were walking in the woods and we come onto that water tank and stuff, boy, that thing just wham, there it was. And it was back in behind the brush. And you literally, like you told me, and I agree, you're not going to hide from that.
Can't hide your heat.
Oh, my. Yeah, that's something I'm going to be getting my hands on here real soon. I really like that. But you've got a lot of miles in with Jay and these guys out doing this. Is there an area that has been your personal favorite that you've had a chance to work in? Do you like the northern more climate, or do you like the southern more climate, or where do you feel most at home at doing this?
Right in Coshocton County. That's where we're getting the most activity. Everybody likes to talk about going out to Salt Fork and such. I think there's too much pressure there. I've really not had anything that I can contribute to Salt Fork. Get a little bit away from Salt Fork and we're getting plenty of activity. But yet, if you look at a topographical map and you see how the land's laid out, where the areas we're in, it's the same patch of woods at Salt Fork.
Yeah.
It's just where people aren't, less activity. And I really strongly believe these things are geared to activity. If you put pressure on them, they're moving.
And I couldn't agree with you more there, too, because that's very much similar to here, how we are with the Allegheny National Forest. We almost never go to the A&F, but boy, out here on the outlying areas, same deal. And it's tactically, it's easier to canvass because it's already broken into squares with the roads. Whereas if you're going to Salt Fork or the A&F, man, you can go for miles.
Right.
And I think we're entertainment to these things, and I think we're food source as far as our garbage or our pets or whatever go. So why wouldn't they want to be close to us?
I definitely agree with where they're entertainment. That thermal capture I showed you from my friend's place in Columbiana, Ohio. That's his exact setup. He just builds a campfire every night, sits around a campfire. He's not trying to be quiet. He just has a normal get-together campfire, and they come in and watch every night.
Yeah,
this guy has activity literally 7 days a week. It's crazy.
I hope no one ever finds out where he is.
I'm not telling.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I am delivering him my thermal this week. I'm going to give him my thermal for a month and just let him play with it. I can't wait to see what he gets with it.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of people that they do with their optics that they'll shoot into a mirror and they have a higher success ratio by shooting into a mirror because the Bigfoot thinks that they're behind the device or
can't see the light being emitted? Yes, I've seen that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a crazy topic.
Well, I can tell you, I can't say I've seen a squatch react to my night vision, but I've seen other animals clearly react to it, especially deer. I've been in close quarters. I've been a deer hunter all my life, so I'm kind of accustomed to getting close to animals, bow hunter and such. You're used to being close. And I've hit them with knew they were there ahead of time. Brought the night vision up and hit them with that and that IR light, and it's just you think you hit them with a spotlight. They react the same way. lock right into it. They're looking right at the light. You get the eye shine. If they can see it, why can't other things see it?
Yeah.
I'm not saying we can, because I can't see it, but our eyes don't work like theirs do. We don't have those reflectors in the back of our eyes as good as they do.
Right. Do you find a lot of similarities between deer hunting and going out Bigfoot researching, squatching, or is it just a completely different ballgame to you?
Yes and no. The same things come to the way you hunt a deer and some of the tactics you use and how your field craft and how you move through the woods. Yes. What seems like we're dealing with is when you're dealing with deer, you've got an instinctive animal that really doesn't have any thought. In my opinion, when you're dealing with squatch, you've got an instinctive animal. They have all those senses that an animal does that can think it through.
Sentient.
And that's why they're always one step. It seems like no matter how good we get, no matter how good of a plan we have, them suckers are always one step ahead of us.
Yeah. And actually, that's one of the methodologies I use is I purposely try to put myself in the worst place that I can tactically, thinking that maybe they'll be overconfident and then maybe they'll slip up.
Correct. I think on the little glimpses we get here and there, it's just that they slipped up, or we're smart enough to not try. Just put yourself in a position, be patient, let them come because they're curious.
Yeah.
They're coming to check us out.
Yep. Ideas on what their main diet may be? Do you think that they're mostly meat eaters? Do you think they're mostly plant eaters? Do you think they're just
I think they're
there?
like us. They eat what they can get. Water is definitely a huge thing where we always get the activity, especially we've got our best activity when it's crazy hot because there's not much water there. So you can kind of, when you find the water source, you're going to seem to have the activity. But I think food-wise, they're getting their, whether they're eating deer, roadkill deer, there's roadkill deer everywhere. That's got to be a food source, in my opinion. Yeah. I've read reports of people that have seen these things dragging deer off and eating deer on the side of the road and those kind of things. And then Mother Nature provides food for all of us if you know what to look for. Yeah. You take a walk in the woods with Jay and well, you can eat that, you can eat that, you can eat that. Let's pick these mushrooms, fry them up this way. Granted, they're not frying them up, but you don't have to. We do that for taste. Yeah. But there's plenty of food out there.
What's that noise? You brought the band again?
Sure did.
Don't miss Camping World's RV Festival going on now. Shop new RVs starting at only $105 per month.
When's the next show?
Visit your local Camping World Supercenter or shopcampingworld.com today.
Roku is the simplest way to stream entertainment to your TV the way you want.
There's a box, there's a remote, and instantly you have access to over 1,000 channels.
It's a much more cost-effective option for watching TV.
The new Netflix shows they're producing now are really good.
And if I can do it, anybody can.
Starting at just $49.99 and get 2 months free Hulu Plus with any new Roku player. Go to roku.com/offer.
One of the funnest things that I've discovered with this whole Bigfoot adventure is all the cool gadgets that we get to play with. When you guys came out Friday night and we hit the woods, you got to introduce us to quite a few cool gadgets, and including my favorite was that night vision scope. Who made that?
That's an X-stand night vision military grade. Bobby purchased it for us. It's one of the first things we got. It does everything we needed to do. You can zoom, you can make video, you can take pictures. You got 7 grades of IR on there, infrared, and it's amazing. It's an amazing tool, and we use it a lot.
It was fantastically easy to use too. Yeah. Once I figured out exactly where my 4 buttons were, I never had to put light on it again. And, to find my place, everything was nice and well spaced out. Actually, I think I'm a little sore from holding that thing to my face for a couple of nights now. And it was fantastic that the vision that we got off of that and how clear, and how easy it is to get that. And then it's got the little focuser for, when you're getting in there to really tighten it down. And I was pretty impressed with that thing.
I think you liked it. When you're in the dark out there, you're in the middle of nowhere, it's dark out, you can't see it. It is a really nice functioning piece of equipment because you don't have a lot to deal with. You have 4 buttons that you can do anything you want with.
Yeah.
You can switch it on the go, you can switch it on the fly.
And what I really liked about it too is I didn't have to have it tight up to my face. I could kind of have it out like this.
Exactly. It's a screen. It's not a lens.
Exactly.
You look through a screen like a movie screen.
And then I was able to, I was trailing behind you guys and I was able to find you in that and use it to make sure I was on the trail and stuff. Very easy to use compared to like sometimes like with the binoculars, sometimes that whole thing is pretty hard. You get kind of blinded.
I don't like the binoculars because if I see something, I have to hand it to you. You have to zero in on. We've lost stuff that way. I can't find it. Mm-hmm. There's times they hand it to me. What are you looking at? I can't find what you're looking at. This here gives you something where somebody beside you, your research partner, or whatever, can actually visualize what you're seeing.
Yeah, it was really easy to put it right over your shoulder and your buddy can check it right out.
Right. That's what. And usually we run several different things at one time. That way, I see this. Well, I can check it on here. Mm-hmm. And if it jives, you got something.
Yeah.
If it don't, it knocks it out. It's not there.
And that's part of the fun too. Is
debunking.
You're debunking yourself and that whole investigating and like last night you and I were both focusing in on one thing and we eventually dismissed it I think as a stump.
Anomaly, yep.
But and what it ended up being actually I saw as we went out was it was a lawn tractor that was poked in there. Yeah. And it gave us that funny signature, but we were able to figure out that it didn't have heat. And so we were able to just kind of eliminate it from without having to get all the way up and put your hands on it.
70 yards away?
Mm-hmm.
70 yards away. Different things hold heat. You have rotting logs hold heat. They give off heat. They give off, rotting is a process. When it's dying, it's a process which gives off heat. You have trees hold heat during the evening.
Kind of like steaming oil.
Yeah, exactly. Everything gives off a certain heat. And the best way to do that is you try to learn the device, what it does, go out and learn what it does, that way you can debunk it. And the people I research with in our group, they'll call it out right now. Let's well, that's this or that. We want to know what it is.
Yeah.
And we get down to, okay, that was a log. That wasn't a log. That logs don't get run. We've had different things, but my research people we work with they want to debunk it first. They don't want to say, hey man, that was a Bigfoot there. And sometimes it has been, but there's times it's a rotting log.
Yeah. And that's kind of that's the whole process is so engrossing. And
sucks you in.
You're not. There's no sense of like, I'm kind of bored. I hope something happens. The whole time, it's just got your attention.
100%. 110%. Yeah.
Now the handheld that you were using last night, while I was using the binoculars, what was that?
That is a Leupold LTO Quest handheld night vision. It's a FLIR, forward-looking infrared.
Yeah,
and it picks up heat. It doesn't give off infrared, signature. We use that a lot, and then we use it a lot with the night vision together as a tool, and it works out really good for us. We do. I do a lot of night stuff with one of our researchers, Bill Welsh. At nighttime, he's amazing to be with at nighttime. He's a diehard. We'll do 14 hours is nothing for us. That's average. And
I had to kind of talk us back to going back that first night because I was pretty whooped.
We'll wake up on the side of the road at 8 o'clock in the morning. We've been out all night. It's like that's what we do. He gets one weekend off a month, and we hit it hard. We run those. You run those together. If I hit something if it's not there on the night vision, and it's on the flare, you're up. But it's a good tool to have. And at nighttime, you don't want a bunch of difficult things. The handheld, it's like a phone. You can look at it, I can look at it, we look at it together. Well, I'm not handing you a scope to look through, and you got to find.
And then I got to find exactly where you were pointing.
That don't work for us. For some reason. It's too much. in the heat of the moment, when you do have something going on and stuff's getting sketchy, I don't want to have to hand you something I have to look for.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to see it on the screen.
Yeah, and that's a special skill in itself, being able to put something to your eye and go right to where you need to go. Yeah. Now, we were using the heat signature too. What device was that we were using? I think Bill had that mostly. What is that there?
It's just another form of IR or FLIR. It's a FLIR that goes to his phone, and he made his own holder for it, it's really cool how he done it. He designed a holder. We didn't to hold it the way it's designed. It's kind of tough to hold it when you're going through the woods, and he made a holder for it, and it's just another FLIR. It radiates maybe a different color. It picks up the same signature, and a lot of times we'll be walking through the woods, 4 o'clock in the morning, and he'll FLIR something, and I can back it up with mine, or I'll FLIR something. And that's something. Because we're both getting on the FLIR and it's moving. We got something going on, and it just kind of helps us. It's a quick debunk, is what it is.
Yeah.
And it's worked for us. It works for us. That's what we do. That's what we found. It works for us, and it's easy. We don't want to be real technical out there at 4 o'clock in the morning when you're 5 miles from the truck, and it's just that's what we do.
Just so it was easy for us to focus in on that one that was kind of something was down low and then eventually kind of got up.
Like it stood up. Yeah.
And that was, and we actually, I think we were on that for about 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, we stood there for quite a while watching that. And at first, it's like, it was bright. It was brighter than everything else out there. It was one of the brightest hits I got all night. Mm-hmm. And then when it stood up, I know that, we could use different equipment in conjunction to, you figure stuff out from, you're 100 yards away from something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and when we were looking at the pics a little while ago, we could see what we were looking at. Yeah. That doesn't capture video, but it does capture a good picture.
Yeah, and there's certain places like the hill we had to go where we would have had to go to look at that was kind of tough to get to in the dark. You had to go over logs, and it's nighttime's a whole different animal.
Yeah, and if you want to pack a lot of adventure into a certain amount of time, that's the way to go. Yeah, that's for sure.
It works for us. I mean, we try to simplify everything. Mm-hmm. We work all week. We all work. We do this on the side, and we try to make it simple so we can enjoy the outing.
Mm-hmm.
It's more enjoyable for us if we don't have technical problems. We try to simplify it.
Well, those were 2 of the funnest nights that I've had in a long time.
Awesome. We enjoy this down here so much. It's just like coming home down here when I come down here. Just like coming home.
Excellent.
Yeah, I love it.
Excellent.